Easy now. Papa got beats, make it happen.
Come down. Ooh, you make my high come down. Always tripping when you come around. I'ma have to cut you out, like right now. You see, I don't have to drive me. You can say that for your mama. Maybe you should smoke some. Me try the marijuana. I was never you good. The vibe was straight. Showed you a couple of things and they feeling strange. I treated you right. Everything was a gift from a time to your bag and the color on your lip. Yeah, you plenty of fixes.
Welcome to the Seahawks Man to Man podcast, powered by The Athletic. Shout out to the company. My name is Michael-Shawn and I'm here virtually with my co-host Christopher Kidd. Make sure you follow us both up on the tweet machine. You see my handle right there in the bottom of the screen for those on YouTube, and for those listening on the audio version, you guys already know what time it is. Chris, talk to him.
What is up, everybody? It's your boy Christopher Kidd. Be sure to follow me on Twitter at CKIDD206, and that is CKid206.
If for the YouTube watchers right now, I just chugged a little piece of beer because I couldn't believe I had to watch a preseason game sober. They don't realize that they make an announcement in the press box every night. It's like no cheering, don't bring your homies up there, and like no alcohol in the press box. Those are like the three, and whoever's the pool reporter that can talk to the referees after the game. I think it's like Curtis Crabtree. So those are the four like main things they announce. And usually I'm okay with the like, don't drink up here. Like I'm still against it, but like preseason,
yeah,
come on, man, we gotta get that. I know Chris don't drink, but like we gotta get that rule changed.
Gotta fix it, huh? You weren't for it, is what it sounds like. So go ahead and get your beer on, man. I ain't mad at you.
Well, and also, I mean, they can see I'm gonna show on YouTube. They the Bud Light sent me some Seahawk beer.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
They sent me a care package of beer, so that was why not after that game. But Chris, let's get into it. This episode shouldn't be too long, man. That game was bad. Like if you're listening to this now or watching, you saw the Seahawks got smoked in the preseason, which you don't usually see. They got smoked bad. 30-3 by the Denver Broncos, who, to be fair, like disclaimer, the Denver played its starters, like most of its starters on both sides of the ball. Without, I think on offense they were only without Cortland Sutton, I want to say, and then on defense they were just without like Von Miller.
Yeah,
who matters obviously, but like that puts in perspective. Whereas Seattle didn't play. Let me see if I can remember Chris off the top of my head. Russ, DK, Tyler, Gerald Everett, Will Dissly, Brandon Shell, Dwayne Brown, Chris Carson, and Ethan Posick. Is that everybody? Freddie Swain didn't play on offense. He played special teams, but didn't play on offense. And D. Eskridge didn't suit up. That's the whole offense, damn near. Gabe Jackson also didn't play right guard. And then Damian Lewis played like 2 series. And on defense, you got no Bobby, no Quandre, no Jamal. See if I can remember everybody. No Kerry Hyder, no Carlos Dunlap, no Benson Mayowa, no Poona Ford, no Robert Kondiche, no DJ Reed. That's a lot of guys. So like the lopsided score, I'll cut them some slack for like a little bit. They still should have lost because Denver played their starters longer. But even when it was scrubs, I won't say scrubs on scrubs. Even when it was backups on backups, it was still ugly in Denver's favor. And like, I don't know, being there didn't make it any less bad. I don't know how did it feel at the crib watching that?
It was sloppy, but again, you pointed out earlier, it was the fact that they were going up against they're going up against the starters for the Broncos, and that's a challenge in itself. You got outside of Von Miller rushing you still have Bradley Chubb coming in there. You got Justin Simmons in the backfield making plays. I get it.
They played Patrick Surtain, right, as well?
I believe so. I believe he was out there. Not that he made a play or anything, but just the fact that their starters were out there.
Right.
It made it challenging for Alex Magoo, who usually goes up against 2s and 3s. So he was in an experience in a game environment where, oh God, these are starters. and
these guys are good.
I'm not going to lie. Like the first series before the interception, okay, he was calm, collective. The pass rushers getting there. He going through his read, trying to make a play, didn't work out. But after that, it kind of became, it just got bad for him really quickly. And at this point, I was thinking, damn, is he going to play the whole first half, which he did. And I even thought to myself, maybe he's going to come out in the third quarter and then they're going to let Sean Mannion run it in the fourth. But that wasn't the case. They really, all right, Magoo, you got your first half out the way, and it wasn't good. It was very unfortunate for him. He struggled, especially with the performance he had in his first preseason game. I even tweeted out 50 Cent's lyric from, "Oh, you in high school, you was the man, homie. What the happened to you?" So I remixed it and said, "Oh, you was the man in the first preseason game. What happened, Magoo?" I don't know.
He wasn't even that like great in that first preseason game to be.
He was better than what he was on Saturday night. That was
It
a big
helps. His
difference.
numbers helps because he had like a 43-yard touchdown pass in
Yes.
the first game. A swing pass though
to DJ,
to DJ Dow, who does look good. Like he's like the one offensive player who looks consistently good. Someone in the trenches could look consistently good as well. I just haven't. Like Kyle Fuller could have been killing it. I just haven't watched.
Gotta go back and watch the film on that.
Yeah, I mean, even then, I'm not like the center guru. Like I don't. I can tell when a center looks bad. I'm not really necessarily all that equipped to like really tell when they're excelling, especially at the little things. But when it comes to QB play, I'm okay with Pete Carroll not playing the starters. Like I guess we should get that out the way. Like, fine, don't play Russ, especially don't play Russ behind that O line for sure. I'm cool with that. Like that makes sense. But even with that, I thought that we've said for a while on this show, and I've written it a ton. If something happens to Russ, it is panic mode around here at the quarterback spot. Now Russ is made of nano bubbles and Jesus's blood, so he'll be fine. Like I don't think anything's gonna happen to Russ, but if it does, oh no. Oh my goodness. I think this was a really good example of that. Again, even if Alex going against the starters, but hell, if you're going to be the backup and you have to play in a game, you're going to play against the other team starters in the regular season. So eventually you have to play starters. Like so, it's not that much of a caveat. The interception was bad.
Both of them.
Just the first one's a really bad read and a bad throw. The second one was I had to check the jersey number. Because I seen Denver, I knew it was a screenplay because he was under pressure right away. I was like, "Oh, this is a screen," and then he threw it, and I see Denver celebrating, and I was like,
"What the hell?"
He threw a pick to a defensive tackle.
Show did
on a screen.
Yeah.
Oh, that's bad. You know how hard that is to do. Those guys cannot catch.
I think Pete summed it up in the presser tonight on Saturday night. You can't make that play. You have to throw it away. You know, just take the loss. But Magoo, he tried to make something out of nothing after his first turnover. You know, because hey, if he lands that and they get a first down, you know, pat on the back from Magoo. But that didn't happen. He ended up giving it to a guy that's 300 pounds on the D line. Not a good look at all. So that was very unfortunate. Not to mention, we're talking about his turnovers, that sack fumble. That wasn't.
Yeah, the more I've watched that, I've concluded that's his fault. That's his fault. Yes, that's one of those sacks that like. I don't know how like a Pro Football Focus or like a True Media, which I also use, would grade that. I would look at that and be like, Alex Magoo was legitimately running the towards Denver's end zone when he gets sacked. Like he is running away from the line of scrimmage, like running, not like a back pedal, you know, like he is tucked and running the wrong way. I'm like, bro. What is Stone Forsythe supposed to do with that? In a perfect world, what Alex does is when Stone's guy comes upfield, I think it was 4th and 4, he scrambles to the vacated area and picks it up with his legs. Instead, he gets sacked like 10 yards from the line of scrimmage and then fumbles and loses the fumble. So it would I don't care who you're playing, starters, backups, wherever, your reads can still be good and you can protect the football. And that's probably why Pete's looking at this film right now on his way back, like, Jesus Christ, like this is bad. Like, irregardless of what unit you're playing against, it was bad. And you know what? The Sean Mannion wasn't much better. What was his? Let me see. His numbers were a little better, but they were really safe. I think he was 13 of 23 for 118 yards. What is that per attempt? Like
4 yards?
A little higher because it got to 118. It's about 5 yards, I think. That's about 5 yards per attempt. That's nothing. That means you're dinking and dunking. He did have a couple of explosive plays to Travis Toy TikTok. No, it's TikTok. His nickname TikTok.
That works.
Apparently, he has a lot of followers on TikTok. So if number 86 in the Seahawks is TikTok, and then I think he had another one to K Johnson. So his numbers look a little better, but overall, it's frustrating almost how how not good the offense has looked, because it really doesn't give us a good vibe, especially up front, for what the team can do. We don't know what the receivers can do. We don't know what the running backs can do. We don't know really. We kind of know what the quarterbacks can do. They did what I expect them to do: make some good throws and make some terrible throws that explain why they were free agents at one point in their careers. Right? Like if you're that good as a quarterback, you're probably not going to hit free agency. Excuse me. So that's. I don't really care how good Sean Mannion and Alex Magoo play, but I do want to see like what Aaron Fuller can do, who I do think had a couple good catches today.
Yeah.
I do want to see what a Cade Johnsons can do, who's fighting for a roster spot.
He played pretty damn good today. I'll admit he was out there. He made a few plays. Good for him. He talked about it in the post game presser.
What he had 3 for 34.
Yeah, he had a solid day, solid night on Saturday.
I think he had 2 drops though. That's the downside. I have him down for 1 drop for sure. Yep, I have him with a drop on the drive where they went tempo. On that same drive, he had a 14-yard completion. Maybe that was his only drop. And then just a bunch of nothing plays. But yeah, I do think we got a somewhat of a good eval on him. He had a couple plays that went for first downs, which was good. But I wish we saw more. Like we just can't get a good feel for the receivers when everything around them is not like great. Like even the running backs, Josh Johnson was the leading guy with 9 carries for 30 yards. Anybody trying to see him, Otis? You know what I'm saying? Like that's just not what type of time we're on in these preseason games. Like if Penny's going to get out there, I want to see Penny. Alex Collins is going to get out there, I want to see Alex Collins.
Now, speaking of Penny, you said it.
5 touches for – no, not touches. How many touches did he have? He had
14 maybe? He didn't –
No. He had 2 targets, one of which was the pick, and then – which wasn't his fault at all. And then
I'm thinking of snaps. Excuse me.
Oh, I don't know how many. The snap counts aren't out yet, so I'm not sure.
I think
but
he mentioned like 15 or something. That's what I was thinking of.
He had 7 he had 5 rushing attempts, 2 targets, 1 catch. So 6 touches.
Yeah, that's not a
if you're gonna put him out there, let him get to, because I think here's my thing on Penny. And I wrote a little bit about this as well. I think the Seahawks are essentially using Penny as a relief pitcher. Chris Carson is the starter, and they want Rashaad to come in and basically be like this home run hitter. I guess I'm switching my size of the ball on baseball now, but they essentially want him to come in and just throw gas. So we're back to the pitcher analogy now. Just like throw gas, just get us out of the innings, throw heat. Right? Just don't do nothing else but just throw heat. And the same thing, they want him to come in essentially, all right, big run. Chris is hitting him in the face with the pounding, and then we want you to just like, and it's like that. I don't really think that's the best way to use Rashaad. I think if you look at his film and if you look at his numbers, when he gets starter touches, he performs better. Like when he gets double-digit carries, that's when he can get closer to 100 yards.
Is it feasible for the Seahawks to have Chris Carson 15 carries or 15 touches, I should say, and Penny 10 to 12 touches? Is that something you can see that they can do, or is that not taking fully advantage of Carson, who is a beast and can do it out of the backfield, but also you're worried about him staying healthy with all the blows he delivers and takes? Is that something that you would probably take into consideration as to why Penny doesn't have that pitch count?
So you use a good word there. It's feasible. I'm looking at the definition of that. I know what it means, but it's like possible to do easily or conveniently. So in that first definition, no. It's not easy to do that. But the other definition is likely, probable. I guess the answer to that is no.
Double entendre, my bad, Mike.
As well. Not double entendre. There's multiple meanings to all these words. It sucks because I don't know what they should do.
Well, I like when we first heard about him when he got drafted, I was big on him because he was all over the field. Kick return, punt return. And I was more so like, oh, that's perfect because you can get Tyler Lockett just as a wide receiver. And to your point that you made, if Tyler's good at that, you just let him do it. It doesn't matter. Like if he's good at it, cool. Ultimately, it's gone to Freddie Swain. Everyone else, DJ Reed, a lot of other players are getting their shine at it. Penny, he had an opportunity, but he just ended up being the backup running back. I think he also has an opportunity as a punt returner, kick returner. I don't know if they're ever going to give him that opportunity
I
again.
don't think so. I
But
don't think
there
so.
it is. So with that being said, he literally is going to get touches on screens, halfback draws. He's just running the football that and receiving it, because we saw that 2 years ago when he, before his injury, he was really out there running the ball, catching passes out of the
Yeah,
backfield.
he can catch passes too. I just don't think that he can. I don't think he can be first round pick good production wise.
Not with this team,
I just don't think so. Especially not in that role. Not in the
especially with
role where it's
Carson.
like, all right, Chris is tired. Go in there and get 30 yards on 4 touches. Well, it's like, no, that's about
Yeah,
7 yards a pop. That's just not.
not his
He
game.
needs to get in the flow. Most running backs do. Very few running backs come in to spell another guy and then just immediately go off in the run game. You do get like if there's like a Jerome Bettis type, you get like a Willie Parker, or if there's like a Danian Tomlinson, you get like a Sproles, like in the passing game or something like that. Like the backup dude is usually like a passing game guy, and that's where he gets his money. I mean, the Colts are set up the same way right now. I don't know why they're randomly in my head, but like you have like a Jonathan Taylor who's going to hit you in the mouth, and then Naeem Hines or whatever who's going to catch a bunch of balls
You
and
got it
pass
right.
protect. Yeah, so that makes sense. But then Penny's not even their primary third down guy.
It's Travis Homer.
It's Travis Homer and DJ
Travis
Dallas.
now. Yeah.
So I don't think that it's not even about a talent thing. I just think he's not in a role to succeed. And that's unfortunate because he's in a contract year. He's a 2018 first round pick. He's finally healthy. And they just gave Chris Carson the bag, and they have some other young guys who they'd like in those roles. So, I mean, that's why when I found out he was playing today, I was like, man, okay, cool. Give him the whole first half. Yeah, let's get him a double-digit touches. If he's healthy enough to do it. And I think he was, and just didn't. That sucked because I want to see what Penny can do, because I do think, like, as a starter, like you said, in another offense, probably is fine. Give him 12, 15 carries a game. Maybe even get him up to 17. I think he'd produce in that role. But now it's just like he's coming in and asking him to just always be the lightning to Chris's thunder. And I just don't think that's just how that's not a good use of his he needs time, he needs rhythm. It's almost like tough. A receiver. It's like if you come in, all I do is run go balls, and you just like you give me 2 shots at like 50-yard bombs each game. It's like, okay, I might catch one, but like that's just not everybody's game. That's why David Moore was so impressive, because that's basically what they asked him to do. Like, hey, bro, you only gonna get like 2-3 targets a game. Yeah, like
Flash.
Yeah, it's like, all right, you guys only gonna get a couple targets, and they're gonna be bombs, so catch them. And it was like, okay, David Moore caught them all. So, but I don't think that's Penny game. That was unfortunate. I wish we would have saw more. It's not even like a talent thing. Really, it's just like I don't think he's being used right in this
offense,
in this setting. But at the same time, I don't know what to do because Chris Carson's so goddamn good, right? So I don't know how you take carries away from a healthy Chris Carson unless you're like actively saving him for the postseason.
I was thinking in my head, they're kind of doing what they can. What you see and how they use Penny, that's kind of it. They have Dwayne Eskridge now, and we saw a jet sweep today. Who was it to, Mike? I'm drawing a blank on who they got the jet sweep to.
Oh, I want to say John Ursua.
I didn't write it down. I thought I did
because I missed it. I was picking up my pen off the floor. I looked over at Art Teal. I said, "Art, what was that?"
Yeah, here it is. Yeah, jet sweep tour. Yeah, so Penny's not going to
kind of like a pop pass kind of thing.
Yeah,
like
so actually,
it went as a pass,
completed pass. But yeah, it was to John Ursua. That's correct. Penny's not going to get any of that. For Penny, it's running the football and screens. It'd be nice if they could implement him as a slot receiver every now and then, but I just don't see that with this offense and how they have it set up with all the receivers that they have, all the receivers that they do have. Now with D. Eskridge coming back, hopefully he plays in the 3rd preseason game, but maybe in the 3rd preseason game we do see more of Penny. I mean, that's all we can hope for, especially getting.
Yeah, I don't think Chris Carson should play in that game at all.
I don't think he will. I don't think people play Chris.
He might, but I don't think he should.
I feel you. Well, let's get to the Seahawks Tempo real quick, because that's one thing that offensively positively did stand out, was how quickly they were getting up to the line and getting the offense going. It was nice to see. I really want to see how this is going to look week 1 with Russell Wilson and everyone, because we saw someone struggle offensively, the tight end. Ugh. He had what, 5 penalties?
Oh, you're talking about Dom Wood and
Oh
yeah, that
my
was a bad
goodness.
day.
That
He
was
had
it was unfortunate. He had, I want to
he
say, 2
5.
false starts,
I can tell you all of
punch in
them
the
right here.
back.
Hold on, I have it written down.
Maybe
Yeah,
we
he
shouldn't go
had
over that. We could just stick to the Seahawks Tempo, but that did stand out
yeah
as like,
he
damn,
had 5 penalties in the game.
not good.
No, he had a rough day. Yeah, so the tempo stuff, I wrote a story about it from the defensive guys' point of view, and I think their view is a little bit more instructive than the offensive guys, believe it or not. And here's why. Seattle's defensive guys in practice are legitimately only reacting to what they're experiencing. Whereas when you ask the offensive guys about the scheme, they're reacting to the question based off what they've done in practice, but also what they know they can do.
Yeah.
If that makes sense, like they're projecting a little bit in their answers because they know the full playbook, they know the plan, they know the stuff that they haven't even run yet. They know it's in there, right? So they're what kind of offense is it? That'll be the question, and then the answer it'll be stuff that we've seen, but then it'll be stuff that they're projecting. And I don't like the projecting as much as I like the reaction from the defensive guys, because they don't know the playbook. All they know is what they've had to cover in practice. So it feels like a more genuine response. So that's why I like to write a story about the offense from Seattle's defense perspective, because it felt a lot more honest and like I said, genuine. Not to say the other guys are lying, but you get my point.
Yeah.
So when they say stuff, when LJ Collier says, "Hey, nah, man, like it's hard. They're going fast." And Jordyn Brooks says that. When Marquise Blair says it, when Cody Barton says it, you can tell like that's because when they're out there, they can feel it being faster. This is the first time we saw that against the Broncos. And I think the first drive of it was Magoo's third drive. See, I got my notes here. Magoo's third drive, and actually was very encouraging. It was like I got a 12-year quick pass to Aaron Fuller, first down. John Ursua, first down. I think Magoo scrambled for a first down. And I was like, oh, this is all no huddle. This is all good stuff. And you can tell they just randomly threw it out there. Didn't do it the first drive, didn't do it the second drive, and just hit him with it. I think that's going to be like when they talk about tempo and they're going faster, it's because they'll be going at a slower pace, quote unquote, for a little bit. And all of a sudden, like, oh, they're moving. And when you're having successful plays, that's great. This is why, and this is what Tom Cable used to say to us too. A negative play kills all that. So, like I mentioned, that Magoo drive, here are the next 3 plays on that drive. And for reference, this is the O-line on that drive. Stone, Forsythe, Jordan Simmons, Kyle Fuller, Phil Haynes, Tommy Champion, right tackle. So after those 3 first down plays in a row, Rashaad Penny run for 4 yards. Rashaad Penny run for 1 yard. Rashaad Penny run for 1 yard. Tempo stalled. And then there was a sack. So that's kind of, and then I'll say the next one before we go like into the analysis of it. So then Sean Mannion got a little bit of a up-tempo no-huddle feel too in the third quarter. Early in the third quarter, I think it was, or midway through. His O-line was Stone, Simmons, Brad Lundblade was the back third string center. You're deep in the bag out there. Phil Haynes, and then I don't know if I have a 7 or a 4 in. Let's go with Tommy Champion. That's what I think. Who was out there? Either that or with Jake Curran. Doesn't matter really. So Sean got some tempo run too. You had Alex Collins run, Alex Collins catch for a first down, then boom, Connor Weddington, I think another 10-yard play, Cade Johnson, boom, slant, 14 yards. They're moving. It's great. Drop by Cade Johnson on the next play.
That was tough.
And even then, DJ Dallas wide open on swing passes. Defenses have decided not to guard that in the preseason. Whatever, their choice. Bad call if you ask me. That picks up 16 yards, but then bad throw by Sean, a drop by TikTok, and then a batted pass at the line of scrimmage, followed by illegal formation by my man who had a million penalties, and then a field goal. So their only scoring drive was a result of tempo. But I thought both tempo drives were good to see, like you mentioned, but really instructive in that tempo is only as effective as the successful plays that it produces. Once you have a negative play or just a bad play, drive. Done. Not done, but like you just got to pump the brakes there. So that's why I'm not like gung-ho over the tempo type of thing. Maybe it'll be better because when it's Russell Wilson and DK running it and it won't be as many.
That's the hope.
You know what? To be fair, like I could see that.
And that's where I'm at with it. I realize this is not the starters, and the only time we get a glimpse of it is in practice. And even then, they can't really show everything because, it's practice. We don't want you guys talking about it much. But I do expect it to be more polished and more refined when the season starts. But right now, what we're seeing is the challenges that are coming within the new up-tempo offense. But I do think with Russell Wilson, DK, in the starting unit, it will be refined. They will be able to attack defenses, and it'll be more successful. And ultimately, I guess it'll take away from Russ having to scramble. And to be honest, I never figured this would change Russ from getting sacked. There are times where Russ just holds the ball. I think that is the bigger discussion that needs to be had regarding, this up-tempo will allow Russ to get the ball quicker. Sometimes Russ just holds the ball. It has nothing to do with how fast the offense is supposed to move. If he's going to hold the ball and Tyler Lockett's open on a 2-yard out and he doesn't see him for whatever reason, that's on Russ. That's going to be another interesting tidbit I'm waiting to see week 1. Okay, how many times they're going to do the up-tempo and if Russ holds the ball. Now, if Russ is brand new Russ, not holding the ball, he's getting it out quick, and the sack decreases big time because, Russ is throwing the ball and not holding on to it and trying to create something, then okay, Waldron, I feel you. I see what your offense is all about. I'm digging it. The up-tempo works. But right now we're going through a phase where we're just seeing the guys that'll be subbing in or your backup quarterback, if, knock on wood, Russ goes down, this is what it would look like. And for the most part, I'll take the positive from it, even though I know there was, like you mentioned, the plays, it went to a halt. It stopped, and it was like, okay, this is not good.
Even though their offense was at its best, quote unquote, when they were moving quicker.
Yeah, I feel it. Yes. So we'll leave that with a positive note. But let's get to the defense real quick because it was kind of shaky. It wasn't the defense that we saw from week 1 where the offense just couldn't put up enough points. The defense on Saturday night was, what's the word I'm looking for, Mike?
Tackle well.
Yeah.
There was a lot of missed tackles to start the game.
Barton, man, on the right sideline, running back just barely did a move, and Cody Barton whiffed, and he was pissed at himself, and it was like, yeah, that's a tackle you have to make because that was before the first down. You would have definitely had him short, but first down, tackling was
got Cody missing a tackle, Daryl Taylor missing a tackle.
It was not pretty.
Oh, Daryl's was bad in open field. That was not.
I
think those are both on Royce Freeman. I got Jordyn Brooks missing a tackle, getting stiff-armed.
Oh, that was so bad.
Yeah, no, there was some really bad missed tackles.
Did anybody ask Pete in the presser by any chance?
Nah, that was. I mean, I'm not gonna lie, man. I think we were trying to get out of there. Like, I think because for real, man, it was probably closer to like 10, but they lost by damn near 30. Yeah, man. None of the real deal guys played. No one played particularly well. Half the damn pressers were about Nick Bellore, and it was just like, shout out to Nick. I mean, playing linebacker and playing well, for the most part that I thought. But I mean, if that's the number one storyline out of your preseason, then that's not. Like how interesting was the game really? Not to say Nick is uninteresting. By all accounts, he's the funniest guy on the damn team. But this isn't about funny. This is about who produced on a Saturday night at a 7 p.m. kick Pacific time. We try and get out of there. Tell us the injury updates, which sound very bad. It sounds like BBK and John Ursua are done for a while. Yeah. If not the whole year. John's looked bad. One of them non-contact things looks like a ACL. It's bad. I guess I don't want to speculate too much, but those both sounded bad. Ryan Neal, oblique strain, didn't sound great. But on the just the guys who did play and finished the game and stuff, the one thing I was looking at once I noticed that Denver was playing at starters was how Seattle's pass rush looked when Teddy was in there, because that's basically good on good, right?
Yeah.
Like, look, so their pass rush package that they call it Cheetah. is it was Alton Robinson, LJ Collier, Rasheem Green, and Daryl Taylor. Like that was their first couple cracks at it. Nothing.
Yeah, it was tough. You didn't see much,
Nope. No
which is
pressure.
not a good sign considering they'll be on the rotation.
Yeah,
And
those are guys who are going to play on Sundays.
And you
Maybe not
mentioned they were
start,
going up
but they'll
against
play.
they were going against the starters, and it didn't really. I don't think the Seahawks got a first sack until what? The second unit of the Broncos came
Rasheem
in.
got one against the Denver's backups.
Yeah, and then Jared Hewitt, they just blew an assignment, and he was right there.
I need to know how to say that dude's name. Is it Gerard?
It's Jared.
It's Jared.
Jared Hewitt, yeah.
JRROD is Jared?
Yeah.
Damn. Because I thought it was Gerard, and I was like, ain't he white? And I was like, there's a white Gerard on
real
the team?
quick. Pull up the beast, man. Dane has it in there, I believe. I'm pretty
So
sure.
there's a pronunciation guide in the thing. He's just not on here though.
Oh well, there. All right, that doesn't help.
No. No, it does not. It's weird which names they I'm looking at it now. It's weird which names they have the pronunciations for. Like I'm looking right now.
Okay.
Like Marquise Blair's on here. Who doesn't know how to say Marquise?
How they spell it? Marquise.
Markeece.
I would definitely look at his name and say Marquise, but hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, there's some ones you probably like. Nick Ballor's on here. I guess maybe. Anyway, yeah, he had a sack too. But yeah, my point is, I wanted to see that group because that's two starters. Daryl and LJ are starters. So I wanted to see them get to the quarterback, get to Teddy, and they did not.
The biggest one was that fourth down. There was an opportunity there. It's fourth down. They're going for it.
And then the cheetah group was on the field.
That is the time where you go in and you make the play. Right there. That's when you make LJ Collier, Daryl Taylor's. One of you guys make a play, and ultimately that didn't happen. It ended up being a first down, a huge first down. What did they get? 30 plus yards on that play?
I think 35. Yeah, 35.
Yeah, that's to your point. Let me see something. Like you're going to be in the rotation. This is against an offense that was struggling last year, and they're trying to figure out who their starting quarterback is. You got to mess all that up and get a sack. That's what you have to do there. And ultimately,
specifically on the edges too. I was really looking at on that fourth down you're talking about, the one where Teddy hits Jerry Judy for 35 yards against Akilla Witherspoon. The edge guys were Alton and Daryl. And the same draft class. I know Alton played all last year. Daryl did not. But I was looking like, all right,
here we go.
Nothing. Didn't give me anything. Didn't give me anything on the rep before that either. When Teddy threw a bad ball to KJ Hamler, I think is his name.
Or Ken, Ken or KJ, one of the two.
Ken. It can't be Ken.
I think it's KJ. I don't remember.
It's KJ. It's KJ.
Okay, cool.
I got all my notes right here, so that everybody can't see it. But yeah, I got all my notes. Yeah, I like looking at the unit. We're not seeing anything from the corners. That's very disappointing. Not because the corners don't have talent; they're just not getting targets. That wasn't Kello's. Kello got 2 targets. In the game, back-to-back drives. Yeah. He was in good coverage actually on the bad throw.
It was the same back shoulder that he did last week that he got beat on, but this week it was a bad throw. And he turned his head and he might have been able to make a play.
If that was an on-target throw, he probably picks that because he got his head around really quick.
Exactly, yes.
And then the very next play is he gives up 35. So
I need that all 22 because I couldn't tell because someone hit me on Twitter and asked, "Are you sure Kello's good?" And in my head I want to throw out like, "Bro, that might have been cover 3." So he did his part. He just needed, if he was waiting for inside help, it wasn't there. There was no safety help at all. But I couldn't tell if it was man. I really didn't know what defense they were in on that play.
I couldn't tell either. But we're just not. I mean, either way, that's 3 targets for Kello in 2 games, which isn't great. I haven't seen any targets from Trey Brown, who played left cornerback on Seattle's second drive defensively to start the game. And some more sprinkled in. Demarius Randall not getting any targets. Pierre Desir barely getting any targets. Trey Flowers, I think, got 1 target, maybe 2. So that's kind of disappointing. And that has nothing to do with the guys on the field. It's just looking back and I'm like, oh, what are my takeaways? What's my observations? Like, what players can I write about for my risers and fallers column? Oh, none of the guys that really matter or getting any burn in the back end. Can't tell anything from Rashari Crosswell, really. I'm sure like the coaches can, but like I
They want
can't.
to see it in the game.
Yeah, no, I really can't. The main thing with those guys is on D, I thought that Jordyn Brooks, I thought played a decent game.
It was good to see him in man too. He got beat for the first down, but it was good to see him competing and going head up against someone because usually cover 3 guys, but it was good to see him in man. He was there. He could have made a play a little bit behind, but that's learning reps, and he's going to get better at it. And that's good that coaches out there giving him opportunities with man defense because ultimately there's going to be times where you have to go man. You're going to need to put pressure, send a blitz, and if he's better at covering, that can be a deflected pass, interception, you name it. Especially with this defensive line unit, the starters that is, with the rotations that they have, it should be pretty damn good. And now if they're blitzing, that means opportunities for interceptions, deflected passes, you name it. So I did like seeing Jordyn out there running around a little free. That was good to see.
I'm gonna be a little harder on. I don't like giving up. I don't like giving up the explosive play there though. He gave up a 21-yard pass to a tight end I ain't heard
of. That's
the
learning
before.
experience. That's where a Bobby comes in and gives you a little 1-2. Oh, this is what you got to do.
What was this cat named? Eric Saubert? Is his name on the pronunciation guard? That his name not on here. It needs to be on here. I don't know how to say that.
It's spelled Soebert, something like that.
Saubert.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Sorbet. Oh no,
they said it on television, but I didn't write it down.
Yeah, 21-yard pass play against JB, which I mean it'll happen, but you don't want to see it happen. You want to see the guy make the play.
You want to see it now, Mike. You want to see it now, and you can learn.
I don't ever want to see him give up the explosive play. Why would I want to see that?
Because he's gonna get beat. But if you get beat in preseason, you can go back and work on it, and it doesn't happen in a big game or in game 1. That's all I'm getting at. That's what I was saying.
And you're right. You're right in theory, but I just don't want to. I don't want to see it from. If you get beat in a preseason game, and it's like next week, if it's Justin Herbert to
Keenan Allen,
or something. How
which it should never be, but hey, if they're in cover 3, you never know.
Yeah, so something like that, then it's like, don't want to see that either. But things happen. Yeah, Teddy Bridgewater and Eric Sorbet. However you said this brother's name.
Hey, just Eric.
Yeah, I don't want to see that. I don't want to see that in preseason.
I feel you.
I don't. I think we saw a similar play again in week 11 against the Cardinals, where a tight end had a big play down to the goal line on JB. I think that is what happened. I have to go back and look. But yeah, I don't want to see that. I think he had more good plays than bad plays for sure. I thought he made some really good tackles, was flying. I think on the
screenplay, he sniffed it out.
Well, he shed the tackle.
Exactly.
Yeah, and then that was very impressive. I think on that touchdown that wasn't a touchdown, where the running backs laying on top of the pile, and they told us in the press box, it's like, Dalton, let me say this guy's name, Dalton Reisner gets credited for a fumble recovery touchdown. No. He took the ball from his teammate and went into the end zone. That was the most schoolyard stuff I've ever seen.
You can do that. That's the first time I've ever seen that.
You can't do that.
Okay, there it is. Yeah.
On that play, I believe it's Jordyn who comes in like a freaking missile, and is the reason why the running back is stuck on the top of the pile like an ant or a little roly-poly bug on their back. I'm talking about the little roly-poly potato bug. Beetle? No, it's not a beet. It's like a little roly-poly bug.
Oh, potato bug?
Yeah, potato bug. Yeah. When they be on their back. That's what the running back looked like. His legs just flailing. Yeah, just stuck. I think it was JB that did that, or Jordyn Brooks. And then he had, I don't know if he had a tackle for loss, but he had a tackle for no gain. I just thought he made some plays. And then I think he made probably like 3 or 4 plays that I really liked. And then got beat on the one for 21 yards, down to the 1. And then had that missed tackle where he got stiff armed by Royce Freeman.
Yeah, so that was nice.
That's why I called it a decent game. More, if you have more good than bad, decent. You don't give up any touchdowns. You don't blow any assignments or anything like that. I thought that's solid. Like, I was watching that game thinking that dude is probably a starter. Like, even if I didn't know either team very well, I would have probably watched him like, 56 in blue is like, he's good. That's what I wanted to see. I just didn't want to see it give up the big play. But either way, the linebackers, I didn't feel like I could gauge too much. It really was just the front. I really wanted to see the front, and I wanted to see the corners. and I didn't get to see much from the corners. And I saw the front against the Denver starters and was like,
Could
it
be
could be better.
Yeah.
It could definitely be better. I would like to see Daryl have a mean spin move in him, because that's felt like he was getting really far upfield a lot. And I want to see him just like anticipate that and then just throw on the brakes and whirlwind and then just turn into something nasty. Like I think he's got that in him. So I think when he's gonna watch the tape, that should be the next step that him and Clint Hurts looking at the D-line coach and being like, yo, we can get you this secondary move and you're gonna be a stud. But right now it just looks really raw, which makes sense. It's only a second NFL game. But when you're gonna play another team starters, produce. Rasheem had a sack every game against backups, but hey, he's producing.
Exactly. Before we get out of here, let's talk about something that we agree on, actually, in regards to your starters playing in the final preseason game. I don't think the Seahawks should play Russ. I don't think they should play any starters, to be honest. I just think that's just an opportunity for guys that are fringe to try to make the team. You mentioned it. I think maybe we were just talking off wax, or you might even said it on the pod, but you're like, I will take the risk of Russ being a little rusty than having the risk of losing Russ for I don't know how many weeks if something happens. I will take that risk. Russ is going to figure it out.
got hurt on a kickoff, bro. Untouched. It just takes one wrong step. It's just not worth it. Like at this point,
not.
I wouldn't even play LJ Collier.
No starters. If you are in the rotation, you're not playing. Now, fringe guys, you're playing because you have an opportunity to make the team. But if
you
you're
can play
a
the whole game, I give you as many snaps as you want.
Yeah, and you're gonna get tired, and no one's gonna help you. But you want to make the team. This is what it takes. I wouldn't play any starters because there's what they'll have 84 players by this.
No. They're at 86 right now. Remember, the German dude doesn't count.
Okay.
And they'll get down to 81.
81
with
by Saturday.
Every other team will be at 80.
Okay.
Except for the Seahawks, Niners, Rams, and Cardinals. They all have a international player. So that player doesn't count. So everyone has 80 or 81 in the league. So I would sit all my starters as long as we have enough healthy bodies to like field a team. Because up front of the D-line, you need like a rotation. You can't just have four guys. Like
it's impossible.
So I'll make sure we have a rotation. So maybe if LJ wants to play, Rasheem could play. Daryl Taylor should still play. He needs the reps. Alton Robinson can play, but everyone else,
no.
See, that actually it gets tricky at the corner spots though, because I do want Trey to play, and I think Akello does need those reps.
I would be okay if Akello didn't. To be honest,
Trey Flowers needs the reps.
Trey Flowers needs the reps. I would be okay if they decide Akello you're sitting out. I'm okay with that. To be honest, just because he should be getting a feel for how this Seahawks defense is going, his responsibility, and he knows it's all about consistency. He knows that he needs to play better and just be consistent. That's really what it comes down to. The Seahawks believe him. They gave him a contract. It is what it is. Move forward. I personally don't think he needs to be out there. It would be nice, but I get it. You rather see him healthy on the field week 1 than banged up. And that's where I'm at with it. Now that
I want to see what he can do though. So I feel you though. I would play.
Maybe I'll be a little generous. Maybe the first few series, right?
He only played like 2 series today.
He played more than that, didn't he?
Nah, Trey came in after the first series.
Oh, Trey Brown.
And then I think Akello didn't come back in until he came in the final series of the first half. And I think he came in a little later.
He was bouncing back and forth.
Yeah, so maybe like 3 series. That's cool. I think that's fine. Give him some run against the Chargers start. I want to see him against the Chargers starters.
Do we know
if
anyone? Do we know if any
I
of those?
I don't know if the Chargers are playing their starters. I have to ask. What's our Chargers guy? Daniel. I'd have to ask him. But I mean, I think today was a really good. Like they were getting non-contact injuries today. I don't know what happened to Ryan Neal's oblique, but I don't even know where your oblique is, to be honest. But I think that's up here somewhere. The chest, oblique. Where's your oblique? It was just down here, and
Matter
okay,
of fact, man, we got all
rib
this smart
cage type
stuff,
of thing.
man.
I don't know. I didn't see what happened to Ryan Neal. I just saw him going to the locker room, but I did see what happened to Ben Burkervin and John Ursua, and that's non-contact. That's just running.
Yeah, it's not good.
Their seasons might
Yeah,
have ended
oblique is
because
right
they
here,
was
Mike.
running. Where in your rib cage area?
Yeah, right
It's
in here.
oblique. Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Okay.
So
So
that's
that's
not
probably he probably hit something. He
Someone
had a
hit
good
him.
open field tackle. Well, he's on defense, so you never know. But I think I would those plays happening, you having non-contact injuries to guys like that and stuff that could knock them out for the year.
Yeah.
Like, I'll take Rusty Russ. I'll take Rusty Bobby. Bobby's gonna figure out how to tackle. If he hasn't done it in a little bit, he'll figure it back out. Like he's fine. I probably wouldn't play Jordyn Brooks because you're down linebackers. I seen JB. He can play. Don't need him back out there again. Cody, sure. Lakeem Williams, sure. Sign whoever else. Nick Bellore. Shout out Nick Bellore. I guess we can end the show with him. Shout out to him. He was doing his thing. He's playing both sides of the ball. I be telling people all the time, there are people in the NFL who could play both sides. Multiple. Like a couple dozen, I think. Would I have thought one of them was Nick Bellore? No. But he can do it. And the fact that he can do it suggests that like some other guys can do it as well. Also, shout out to DJ Dallas, who had 2 really good kick returns and is taking the lead there, it looks like, between him, Freddie Swain, Trey Brown, DJ Reed. DJ Dallas is putting his name in the hat. But I don't think any of those main guys should play. I really don't. Let these guys figure it out. Let them fight for jobs. If you know somebody's job is secure, don't risk an ankle roll or a bicep injury. I don't know, whatever. I don't even want to guess the injuries. It's just not worth it. As much as I like cringe at watching a bunch of backups at 7:00 on a Saturday, I'll do it because these guys are fighting for a job and that's my job to cover it. I just need to be able to bring beer in there. That's my only ask. Next week, maybe I'll smuggle some in a flask or something. I'll figure it out.
So I hope they're not watching this show because then they're gonna check your flask.
I know people on the inside. I'll figure it out. They don't know who I know in there. I know a lot of people who work in the Seahawks facility.
Well, there you have it. Thank you guys for tapping in with another Seahawks Man-to-Man episode. We appreciate all the love and support. Be sure to rate and review the podcast on Apple Podcasts if you haven't already. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Let's try to get us to 1,000 because we have a bunch of ideas and we want to give them to you, but we have to have 1,000 followers. Can you believe that? There's a set number before we can add to what we are already doing. That's crazy. But yeah, appreciate the love and support. Mike, is there anything you want to add before we shake, man?
Appreciate you guys as always. Appreciate all the YouTube people who watch us. We're going to try to bring you as many YouTube episodes as we can. Like Chris said, we got to get the subscribers up so we can get all fancy with it. It's like getting extra little VC coins and your My Player on 2K. We got to upgrade. We got to keep performing. So that's it. And then everybody who's still rocking with us on the audio version too, while you're walking your dog, you're at work, you're driving to work, whatever. Appreciate the love. Yeah, appreciate the love. That's it. That's all I got.
All right, we will catch you guys. If not, well, Monday we'll be on the radio. So tap in with us on 950 KJR Sports Radio. We will be doing radio Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, and then we'll figure out if we're going to have a guest on. We might be able to do something Thursday. If not, we will catch you guys for the final preseason game as we prepare for, 2021, new season, new campaign. Be back at it. On that note, we'll talk to you guys later.